specifically how to create a bird dog. And everybody's going to say, Reed, why do I want a bird dog? I don't go hunting. Well, yes you do, but not that type of bird dog. Let me explain exactly what a bird dog is. When you're looking to become a real estate lease option business, what you need to do is you need to expand your funnel, have a wide funnel with a lot of leads coming your way. And I'm going to show you in just a second how to have an unlimited marketing budget without having unlimited wallet. And it's pretty easy if you structure this in the right way. What you want to do is you want to pay people based on production, which means that after you get paid, then you pay them a portion of what you got paid. Does that make sense? Here's how it works. Imagine, if you would, that you want to have a lot of advertising. So you go to a newspaper and say, I want to have a lot of advertising. And they say, great, I want you to pay me $3,000 up front. We'll go ahead and put an ad in the paper, and if nobody sees it, if nobody opens the paper, if nobody gives you a call, you're still going to pay us the money. How do you like that? Not too good. What would happen instead if you said, I'm going to pay people a portion of what I get paid, and the more money I get paid based on their production, the more money I will pay them. So you get paid first, and the bird dogs get paid second. Let me explain that in a little bit more detail. Imagine, if you would, that you want to create bird dogs, and there's several different categories of bird dogs. The first category is someone that goes out there and they find a deal, they negotiate the deal, they get under contract, and then they assign the contract over to you, where you get less money, but they've done all the work. And all you have to do is, let's say that you're a wholesaler, and you take the property, you fix it up, and then you go ahead and you find a tenant buyer for it. Wow, that's great. But someone else did all the hard work. The hard work here is the negotiating. That is the first category of bird dog. And I'm not really going to call that a bird dog, because they're basically just wholesaling the property to you. And so they're finding the property, they're negotiating, they're getting under contract, they're doing everything. The next type of bird dog is a bird dog that finds the property, they negotiate this partially, and then you come in at the last second and you finish the negotiation, get under contract, and then you pay the bird dog once everything is done. Finally, we have the bird dog that they go ahead and they hear about someone that's looking to sell the property, looking for a place to move into. They contact you. You go ahead and contact the person, introduce yourself. Hey, Sally from the restaurant called, and she said that you're looking for a place. I'd love to go ahead and sit down and have a cup of coffee with you, discuss what you'd like to go ahead and do. Let's see if we can go ahead and help you with your situation. You do 99% of the warming up, of the negotiating. You go ahead and get under contract. You go ahead and do the deal. So depending upon what level of negotiating they're doing, depends upon how much you're going to pay them. For the first level, can you go ahead and pay them basically a whole lot? Let's say you're making $50,000 on the deal. Could you go ahead and afford to pay them $45,000? Absolutely. Because you're making $5,000 and they're doing almost all the work. Let's say that's the second part, where you're doing most of the negotiating and you're getting the property under contract. How much would you pay them? Well, if they went ahead and warmed you up, if they went ahead and put that person in front of you and said, here's Reed, I want you to go ahead and work with him, he's really good, and they did most of the work to go ahead and get you in that position, could you go ahead and pay them $500? Yeah, sure, why not? Now let's say you have a person that just gives you a phone call and says, hey, I've got Susie and Sally over here, give them a call. Now you're doing most of the work. you just got sort of a notice that these people are interested. When you go ahead and mention Susie at the restaurant, they say, Susie who? They didn't do anything. They just put you in front of somebody. In that case, maybe you're looking at $50 or less. But here's the big thing. You don't pay them until you get paid. When you do that, you have an almost unlimited advertising budget because you pay them based on the profits, not based upon an expectation of future profits. Whenever you're looking to do advertising and marketing, you want to do this based on production rather than based on just putting the money out there and seeing if you have something come in. Now, obviously, you're going to have to do some advertising budget. You're going to have to always have some money that you keep stored back from current sales for future work. But when you do this, always ask yourself, how can I go ahead and give money to people that do most of the work and farm this out? Imagine, if you would, that you went to a restaurant and you asked the waitress, do you ever have anybody that's complaining that they just haven't found a place to live, or maybe they're trying to sell a house? Do you ever hear that? They might say, well, sometimes. Here's my business card. Here's what I do. Would you like to get an extra $50 for just doing a phone call? Here's what I'll do. You go ahead and call me. I'll go ahead and talk to the people. If I do the deal, I'll pay you $50. If you had an army of people, let's say you had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people that were actively looking for deals for you, would that help increase your productivity? Would that help you increase and leverage your time so you could do something that you do very well, which is negotiate rather than go out there and knocking on doors? Would that be something that would be a little bit more interesting? Because you're finding people that are desperately looking to buy or to get into a property or to sell a property or lease option the property to you. When you have an army of people looking for you and you only pay them based on production, now you're moving this into a business. Going to delve into something here just briefly. Have you ever thought about going to an advertiser and doing the same type of deal, where you only pay them based on production? Now you pay them more, but you only pay them if it actually sells. Not every advertiser will do this, but some will. So ask, can you pay a little bit more if you pay them in arrears, if you pay them after you've gotten paid? Absolutely. If I can go ahead and negotiate and structure the deal so that I pay an advertiser after I've gotten paid up front, I'm a whole lot happier. Something to consider every time you talk to an advertiser, whether that's a newspaper, a radio, whatever you're doing. See if you can negotiate so you get paid, you pay them after you get paid. When you do that, you have an almost unlimited advertising budget if you structure this correctly.